Jeez. I hate people. I hate people. This is why they're the worst. Are you ready for it?
All right.
Hey.
How you doing, girlfriend?
Good on the Sunday. How are you? How was your Sunday?
I'm so tired. It was fun. We went to the playground, which is like so gross.
Oh. Fun.
They had fun, but you know, it's like, I don't know. I just feel disgusting when I leave a playground. So I like immediately gave the kids a bath and then got in the shower and so now I'm good, but I'm so tired.
Oh, I know. Yeah, we went to lunch with Barrett's sister and I looked over and Britt was chewing on the seatbelt that's in the high chairs. It's like,
gross.
There's like hard stuff. It's whatever.
Oh my God, it's so gross.
But now I'm winding down with some wine, but I did just put a chicken pot pie in the oven for our dinner. But Barrett had a bite of it and said it tasted vinegary. So I'm like,
Ew.
I mean, I got it last Sunday at a farmer's market. So I'm like, it's a week old. Maybe it's not good.
Ew.
In which case, we have no dinner.
Well, that's takeout. So we did.
It's already 8 o'clock.
I know. Okay, but then you watched Scream. How was it?
It was so good.
The newest Scream.
The newest Scream, the remake or whatever, I guess.
But it really was really good.
It was so good. But I do have to warn you, there is a guy with frosted tips.
Wait, is it set in present day?
Yeah. Which makes it even more alarming.
Oh my God, I cannot wait to watch it.
But I will say, I called the killer the moment he said on the screen, his first scene. I was like, that's the killer. And
Damn it.
I know.
Now I'm going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, crap. Is it something I should like watch in bed?
No, it's very gory. In fact, because it's, it's Scream.
Yeah.
It's like the music goes up and you're scared. Like it's too anxiety ridden for sure. There are actually parts where me and Bear were both covering our 9-month-old son's eyes.
Are you serious? He doesn't know what's going on.
I know, but I don't know when they start dreaming and like it is like knife through the neck and then the knife shoots out the neck. I'm like, oh God. And he's a very angry killer. Overkill. He's just stabbing so fat. And I'm like, oh God.
All right.
Well, you have no idea. So
no, I'm gonna know the second he's on the screen.
No. Well, it's a twist for sure.
Oh, okay. I love a twist.
But the whole gang's back there. Which I was wondering if David Arquette and Courtney Cox. I'm like, I don't remember how their marriage ended.
Yeah.
But I was like, that's got to be weird because they're divorced in the movie. And she's
like,
I didn't end this or whatever. And I'm like, is this kind of hitting home? I don't know.
I don't know. Oh my God, I have to watch it.
It was so good.
Oh, I can't wait. I think I'm going to start.
So good in the cheesy, scary movie. Yeah, obviously.
I may start The Worst Roommate tonight.
Watch that too. It was good.
You did?
Yeah, all of it. Every single episode.
Oh, shit. Wait, so is it a different episode? I mean, a different story every episode?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
And it's crazy.
Oh, my God.
Although there's one I don't remember. I think I fell asleep in one that I was like, because we were watching it in bed and I was dozing hard. So there's one I have to go rewatch. But
oh, my God. I can't wait.
Oh, yeah. That you can watch in bed.
Oh, well, yeah. I'm not scared.
No. All right, you have a good story this week, and we can't like dilly dally because it's long,
I was about to
right?
say, yeah, it's pretty long, and it's I wrote it out to be as clear as possible because there's like a lot of like, wait, what the fuck is wrong with these people?
Oh, okay.
Well, no, this dude. Okay, so I'm gonna tell the story of Sharon Marshall and Frank Floyd.
Okay.
Oof, Lord. Sources are Explore With Us YouTube, Wikipedia, Murderpedia, and then Matt Birkbeck's website. He actually wrote a book about the entire case called A Beautiful Child. Didn't read it, but it's very well received. So if you're interested, read it. And I bet God, I can't imagine the details in it.
Cute.
Okay, so Sharon Marshall graduated from high school in Forest Park, Georgia in 1986. She had I know, yeah, it's a lot of, you'll know a lot of the places.
Oh, really? Is Forest Park near Atlanta?
Yeah.
I don't know shit about Georgia.
She's a newbie to Atlanta.
I am.
Yeah, I think it's like right by the airport, I want to say. I don't know. It's around Atlanta.
Okay.
So she graduated from Forest Park, Georgia in 1986. That's high school. So she had a full ride to Georgia Tech. She was going to study aerospace engineering, and eventually her dream was to work at NASA.
Oh my God.
I know.
Good for her.
Right?
Get it, girl.
I know, but sad because she never got to do that because she was secretly pregnant. And so she ended up not going to college. She did not tell her high school boyfriend about the baby, and she gave him up for adoption to a couple in Texas. And then, so like just college derailed, which makes me really sad.
Oh, that's sad. Wait, sorry, what year is this?
1986.
Oh, okay.
I know. So after that, she moved to Tampa, Florida with a dude named Frank Floyd. She became pregnant again. They kept the baby. And in 1988, Michael was born, and he is the cutest little baby I've ever seen.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
It's really cute.
Oh, so but this is 1988 when she had him?
Yeah,
so she's still young.
Yeah.
She's still very young.
Uber young. So Frank worked as a painter, but he had a back injury, so he really couldn't work that much. So they were on welfare, and she got a job as an exotic dancer in Tampa. She became friends with another dancer at the club, 18-year-old Cheryl Camessa. Frank really didn't love Cheryl, but he dealt with it. And it was rumored that Frank and Cheryl actually had a little fling, but who knows if that's really true. In 1989, Frank, Cheryl, and Sharon went on a boating trip, and Frank and Cheryl got in a fight. Afterwards, Cheryl allegedly called social services and told them that Sharon was hiding the money that she was making for being an exotic dancer to get welfare. And so they looked into it, and she was. So they cut her off, and Frank was pissed.
Oh, so she was being an exotic dancer and collecting welfare?
Yeah. Yeah. And so Cheryl allegedly ratted her out, and Frank was furious. So he went to the club and confronted her. And other dancers at the club said he punched her in the face. They got in a huge fight. Yeah, like he's a psycho. Shortly after that, Cheryl left her dad's house to stay with a friend. But when she never called her dad to say she got there, he got worried, called the police, and a missing persons investigation started. They found her car parked at the St. Petersburg airport, where it was parked since April 7th, 1989, but there were no signs of her. And I really tried to, there's a lot of dates coming at you because it's.
I know, I'm trying to piece it together.
I know. Well, it's because, try to piece it together. It's not that important, but it is like, Jesus, this happened really quick.
Yeah. Wait, so Sharon is his what?
Sharon's
Frank's girlfriend.
Yeah. Yeah. Cheryl is the one who is missing.
Okay.
Cheryl's her friend who's also an exotic dancer.
Okay.
So she parks at the airport April 7th, 1989. No signs of her, officially a missing person. In May of 1989, Frank told a neighbor that they were going on vacation and asked the neighbor to mow his lawn and get his mail. On June 15th, 1989, so a month later, Frank and Sharon got married in New Orleans using aliases, which is something they did a lot, especially Frank. He had like 15 names.
Why?
Well, I'll get there.
I know. I don't feel good about Frank already because you've
let me know
he's a psycho.
I could tell you off the jump that he's a piece of shit. That's not going to ruin anything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he sucks. So,
but why did she go along with it? That's such a red flag. I mean, why are we using? I guess. Okay, she had a rough go. Okay.
Well, and they're coming off of like Cheryl's missing. I think I don't know if they're partners in crime. I don't know. And they had a baby together. I don't know. She's in a situation.
Yeah.
So the day after they got married, their trailer burned down, and Frank later called the neighbor to ask him to burn all his mail. Right after that, they fled to Tulsa, Oklahoma. So needless to say, they were persons of interest in Cheryl's disappearance, but there's no actual evidence that linked them. So nothing really came of it. In Tulsa, Sharon got another job as an exotic dancer. She made friends with another dancer who hated Frank.
God.
It said in the report I read, like, they jumped around the country, and everywhere they moved, everyone loved Sharon and hated Frank. I'm like, yeah, he sucked.
Oh, okay.
And reportedly they got in a fight. The new dancer friend and Frank got in a big fight at the club once too. And the new friend yelled to Sharon, "You need to leave him." And Frank responded, "If she ever left me, I'd kill the bitch." So yeah. So she was like probably not in a situation where she could just, and so I think she was pretty open to her friends about wanting to leave him, but she was so scared of what he would do to her, and especially Michael.
Oh,
He's
Michael.
like 2 at this, not even 2.
Yeah. Don't underestimate the factor of intimidation. I mean, it is like, yeah. Oh, fuck Frank.
I know. Just you wait. Good God.
I cannot imagine.
Good God. Yeah. So she had been telling her friends that she wanted to leave him. She was scared to, but she was actually building the courage and like making a little plan to ditch him because she met a new guy at the club. They were going to run away together. So she was like preparing to like take Michael and hit the road.
But good for her.
But the plan was derailed in April of 1990 when Sharon, then going by the name Tanya, was found unconscious on the side of an interstate 100 miles outside of Oklahoma City, seemingly from a hit and run while walking back from the grocery store carrying groceries.
It's never a hit and run.
I know. The people who found her rushed her to the hospital. Her friends at the club would go visit her and reportedly said she was doing really well, like seemed to be getting better, was like fine. But Frank abruptly stopped all visitations without any explanation. And 5 days later, she died of her injuries. I know. And the doctors were from the get-go suspicious of the bruises on her body and even said they weren't 100% that the head trauma that killed her was caused by a car.
Oh,
I actually think they put in her autopsy homicide. So Frank claims to have been asleep in the motel room at the time of the accident, but everyone obviously suspected him of doing it. And the fact her dancer friends paid for her headstone because he wouldn't.
Oh,
I know. So that didn't help the case of like, you sure this was a hit and run?
Yeah, he didn't do it. Your own wife? You didn't pay for the headstone?
Right. No. The other thing that didn't help his case was that he almost immediately contacted the insurance company for an $80,000 life insurance policy that he set up a few months prior to her death. But huge issue with that, aside from the obvious.
If you commit murder, you don't get the life insurance money?
Right. Well, no. Because of all the aliases, none of the social security numbers he had matched the right name. So after like several tries, which I can't believe he even got through several tries, I bet the insurance company was like, "Sorry, what are you doing?
Yeah,
Who is this?" So he finally gave his real name. And that's when his house of cards starts falling.
Okay. Frank, who are you?
And all of his prior crimes are revealed. So I'm going to go through a little criminal history with ya.
Thank you.
Buckle the fuck up.
Hold on to your fucking hat.
Hold on, for real. Okay. So in 1959, when he was 16, he enlists in the army under a fake age with forged papers, and it works for a couple months, but then he's busted. So he's kicked out. He goes to Gainesville, Georgia to live with his sister, Dorothy, but her husband kicks him out. I don't know why. I couldn't get the deets on that.
Oh, Gainesville's crazy too.
I know. So in 1960, he breaks into a Sears and cops come and they have a standoff and he fires at the police.
Oh,
obviously, they fire back. They hit him. He's shot, taken to the hospital, and in prison. In 1961, he violates his parole by going on a camping trip with other parolees, which for some... Oh, question.
Yeah, I'm raising my hand. Sorry. He shot at police. How long did he get in prison?
That's exactly the next words out of my mouth were... I wrote that down. I'm way more shocked he only got like out on parole after a year, I think.
Oh my God. These people don't know a red flag when they see him.
I know. But so he violates that parole by going on a camping trip with other parolees.
Ew,
like,
that's kind of creepy. What
are
y'all
y'all
doing? Yeah. Elephant walking.
Gross. What a weird concept.
I know.
So 1962, a year after that, he abducts a 4-year-old girl from a bowling alley in Hapeville, Georgia, and sexually assaults her. I know it starts to get dark. He's sentenced to 20 years in prison, but a few months later, he's transferred to Milledgeville State Hospital for psychiatric testing, and he escapes. Which I'm like, anyone who hurts kids sexually, however...
Jail.
Yeah. let's not look into the site. Don't waste time and money on that because there's no rehabilitation.
Yeah.
No one used to do that. So like,
right.
This isn't like someone robbing a convenience store because they're hooked on drugs and needing money. Like,
right.
That can be rehabbed.
That's a good point.
It really makes me mad because it's led to his escape.
God.
Like really any sentence under life for molesting and raping kids, you're not going to overcome that.
There's nothing to fix in that mind. That mind is fucked.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So figure that one out.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he escapes because they were trying to transfer him to that psychiatric testing. In 1963, he robs the Citizens and Southern Bank in Macon, Georgia. Hey. We have a sister that lives in Macon. What up? He's immediately arrested because robbing a bank is the dumbest. And he's transferred to Atlanta where he's held until trial. He pleads guilty, but guess what he was going to use the money for? He told the judge.
Drugs.
To appeal the child molestation conviction.
Oh my God. Like,
the judge was like,
har.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
And gives him 15 more years in prison.
Life. He's a threat to society and more importantly, children.
Right.
Of that society. So.
Right. So he spends a few years in prison. He's transferred all over the place, but ultimately in 1973, he's paroled. So 10 years in prison for a 20-year child molestation sentence, a 15-year bank robbing sentence, and 1 week after he's released, he attempts to kidnap another little girl.
Oh, then that's it.
In Atlanta.
No, that's it.
Check notes about this not being able to be fixed. So good news is it was an attempt. I don't know the details, but he didn't get her. But he was arrested. The bad news, though, he posts his $3,000 bail and vanishes.
$3,000? What year is this?
That was 1973.
Oh, my God.
$3,000 bail. So he posts bail, is obviously supposed to keep his nose clean and wait for his court date.
No.
Obviously does not.
Because you can't
out of
fix
there.
that type of fucked upness.
Yeah. So he spends years on the run. He's bounced around Georgia, Connecticut, Salt Lake City, North Carolina, using fake names along the way. In 1974, going by the name Brandon Williams, he meets a woman named Sandy Chipman Savakis at a North Carolina truck stop. There's a lot of North Carolina sprinkled in here. I wanted to know the city so bad. I could not find them anywhere.
Really?
I know, right?
God, you couldn't find a lot of details. I'm just kidding. I know this is a lot.
No, it's detailed. Trust.
Yeah.
All right, so he meets Sandy Chipman Savakis. They date for a month before getting married and moving to Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
Sandy has 4 kids, 5-year-old Suzanne Savakis from her first husband. And from her second husband, she has Allison, 3 years old, Amy, 2 years old,
cute,
Philip, 1 year old,
cute,
infant BB. Their last name's Brandenburg. In 1975, Sandy has to serve 30 days in jail for writing bad checks. So she left the kids with the new stepfather, Frank. And when she gets out, she comes home to an empty house.
No.
He took the kids and bailed.
She got probably more than he did for rape in the 70s.
I know.
God, that's so annoying.
So he took the kids, left. She ultimately found Amy and Allison with social services, but she never found Suzanne or Philip, the youngest and oldest.
Oh, my God.
When she went to the police, they told her he was their stepdad and he had every right to take them.
Wait, no paperwork?
No, he never adopted them. No, he was mere. I'm like, wait, what rights? Sorry. No.
Oh, my God.
Pretty much. And to bum you out even more, she allegedly wrote a bad check getting diapers at the store.
Oh my God, my heart just hurts so hard.
I know.
And baby.
I know. It makes me so sad. So
nothing will tug at my heartstrings more than a struggling mom.
Oh, I know.
That is so sad.
I know. So that brings us back to 1990. Sharon died in April of 1990. Since he gave his real name to the life insurance company, the police finally captured him near Augusta for the attempted kidnapping in 1973.
Oh, of the 4 kids?
No, for the attempted kidnapping.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a lot going on here.
I know, it's really sad. So he's arrested near Augusta. He was on the run for that long. 2-year-old Michael was put into foster care. Since he was Frank's son, the foster parents were forced to let Michael visit Frank in jail, but they started the adoption process, which means they had to get a paternity test. And it turns out he actually was not Michael's dad.
Oh, good. So visitation is not required.
All contact's gone.
Fuck off. Yeah.
So they're like, oh, peace.
Now that they know that guy's history, Frank's history, they would still let a child visit him, even if it's his biological father.
I know. The 70s, man. I don't know.
God. No, but that was 1990.
And, oh, yeah, right. Duh, it's my story.
That's okay. It's a lot going on.
And but I don't get, he was in foster care. I'm like, that he's not
legally bound to this guy.
Yeah. It's so I did not understand that at all. Maybe they wanted, I don't know. But it stopped because he took a DNA test and that's not his dad. So peace.
Good. Good for you, Sharon. Get yours.
Totally good for you. So he was released in 1994 and started stalking Michael and his foster parents in Choctaw, Oklahoma. In September 1994, he went to his elementary school, forced the principal by gunpoint to show him Michael's classroom, then took the principal and Michael in his truck, and then took the principal out into the woods, handcuffed him to a tree, and left with Michael. Principal survived, but
oh,
Jesus, how scary. So the principal's fine, but still, the fuck. 2 months later, Frank was arrested in Louisville, Kentucky, but Michael wasn't with him. And to this day, we don't know what happened to Michael.
I thought you said you didn't want to do stories about kids.
Well, it's not. Just wait. Frank has told authorities he's alive, then he's dead. None of their business. Go fuck yourself. In 2015, with an interview with the FBI, he admitted that he killed Michael that same day, shooting him twice in the back of the head, and even told him where the body was, but they couldn't find it. And it was determined that it was likely eaten by a wild boar in the area.
Oh my God.
Monster.
Imagine
being those foster parents. Like, you were going to adopt him.
Right.
That it just like makes me so sad. They're like in the process. And they said when they got him, like when they started fostering him, like he was so delayed and like obviously had no real parent. And so like couldn't communicate, was like screaming, and he was like making such good progress.
Oh, baby.
So sad. And they like drop him off at school one day and that's it. Oh, it just makes me so sad for those people.
God, seriously.
I know. In 1995, skeletal remains were found in a wooded area of Pinellas County, Florida. It was a woman, but she was listed as a Jane Doe, and an investigation determined she died from a beating and 2 gunshots to the head. That same year, a mechanic in Kansas bought a truck at an auction and found an envelope wedged between the bed of the truck and the top of the gas tank. And the envelope was 97 pictures. Many of them were from a woman severely beaten.
Oh, God.
Police traced the truck ownership back to Frank, and the pictures were used to identify the Jane Doe as Cheryl Comesso, the 18-year-old dancer from.
Oh, my God. Wait, what year is this?
1995.
Oh, so she was killed in 88, right?
She was killed in, 88.
Yeah. God, I'm killing it with the dates.
I know. See? It's a very big timeline over, decades. So
sure.
I was like, God, there's a lot of dates up in here. So they finally were able to convict him of Cheryl's murder because he owned the truck. Those were his pictures.
All right, we have a murder conviction on there. Come on,
finally.
Let's do it.
So in 2001, while waiting trial for the murder, this judge, Nancy Lee, I think, it's spelled Ley, which I think is Lee, ruled that Frank was incompetent to stand trial and ordered him to undergo further mental evaluation.
No, we're done with that.
Again, let's not.
Let's look at his criminal history. We know he's insane, but let's lock him up.
Right.
There's no rehabilitating him.
Right.
We're done with that.
He actually fought against it. He said he was completely competent. So the judge was like, fine, screw you, and ordered him to stand trial. He was convicted and sentenced to death in Pinellas County.
Peace out.
However, I ain't done. Also among the 97 pictures were pictures of him assaulting an unidentified young girl. The pictures were a lot older than the ones of Cheryl, and they looked like they were taken over like the span of several years. And one of them they weren't all of him assaulting a young girl. One of them was him and this girl, like, professional picture. Can you see?
Oh, yeah.
Like, she's sitting in his lap, like,
little
clearly.
blonde girl.
Yeah, she's cutie. It's online. If you Google, you'll see it. But so the cops were like, wait, what? Who is this girl? Like, did he have a daughter we don't know about? The fuck is going on here? So it wasn't until 2014 when the FBI reopened the case into the kidnapping of Michael Brandenburg. You scared me.
Holy shit.
Michael Brandenburg and Suzanne Savakis, the ex-wife, Sandy Chipman's kids that he took while she was in jail for 30 days, who were never found. They showed the picture in 2014 to Sandy Chipman, and she said, that's my daughter, Suzanne. This also confirms that Sharon Marshall was Suzanne Savakis.
Oh my God.
So,
holy shit.
Frank kidnapped all 4 kids, spread them out amongst social services, kept one for himself.
Fucker.
Raised her, Suzanne, raised her as if she was his daughter, telling people that he rescued her from her parents who abandoned her. When people would ask more questions or he felt like suspicion was growing, he would just like pick up and move and give her a new name. This all happened until she was old enough to marry. And then he switched the narrative to this is my wife. Isn't that so sad? So this girl just like grew up thinking her parents abandoned her. She had no idea who she was. So then in 2019, after hearing this story, a mom in North Carolina was like, this really matches the timeline of our adoption story, and told her son about it. And out of curiosity, he submitted his DNA, and it turns out he's Philip Brandenburg.
I just got chills literally up and down. Oh my God.
Isn't that insane? But
so he's Philip?
He's Philip.
What's his last name?
Brandenburg. I don't know his adopted name. He was taken when he was less than 1 year old and put in foster care. So he had no idea.
Baby, but he lived a good life, I'm sure.
I hope so. But like, I'm like, what was the point?
Yeah, why?
To break up that whole family. Like, it just makes me so...
You're evil.
Sad. So since the authorities in North Carolina wouldn't take Sandy's missing persons report because he was the stepfather, Suzanne was never listed as a missing person in any database. So she was just impossible to find. No one was looking for her.
Oh my God. I just said that Philip probably lived a good life, but I forgot. Sandy's not dead. She's just without kids anymore. Like that.
Yeah. She found her 2 daughters, Amy and Allison, but her youngest and oldest just ripped from her one day and no one cared. It's so sad. So the only part of this that remains unsolved is the fact that Frank likely murdered Suzanne, Sharon, AK.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a hit and run, obviously. But even with that, he sits in prison on death row in Florida. Till this day, he's still alive. Ew. But
let's spit on him.
I know. Well, I'm hoping, I'm no expert, but I don't think prison mates take too kindly to child molesters.
I was literally about to say he's the bottom of the totem pole in that prison, killing children, and
he's having a
very child molesters and
unpleasant stay. He killed Michael.
Oh yeah, he did kill Michael. So yeah, killing a child killer and a child rapist. Yeah, you're having your day in prison, douche.
I know.
So did Suzanne just grow up like thinking this was normal?
Yeah,
like she knew who she married, right?
Yeah. It was her dad. So she knew they weren't blood related, but he rescued her from her, I'm doing air quotes, people, from her biological parents who abandoned her, which is so sad. And he was just like raping her. And so when she got pregnant in high school and gave it up for adoption, she was, from what I gather, she was confident it was actually her secret high school boyfriend who got pregnant, but I think Frank assumed it was his.
Oh my God.
Sick fuck. So Michael's real dad is, I think his name's Kevin. And he knew about Michael. And he was like, when the whole thing was going on of like, where is Michael and why was he not with you after you kidnapped him and you were arrested? He was like putting it out there, like, please tell us where he is so I can just have him. I didn't read much more into that, but it made me so sad.
Holy shit, this guy's a monster.
I know. How fucked up is that?
I gotta Google him. Hold on.
He's rotting and prison.
I hope so. I hope he's having a miserable time. What's his real name? Frank.
Frank Floyd. Frank Delano Floyd, as in Frank Delano Roosevelt.
Ew. Ew, he's the pastiest white guy, of course.
I know. He's so gross.
God.
Isn't that the saddest?
Holy shit.
And it's just all like...
But that is so creepy, too, because, like, you did raise that girl in a sense. So, like, you wanted to... Oh.
I know.
You are the worst kind of evil.
Like, all for what? Like, it's just like those poor kids of, like, I don't know. It's like it's always senseless. But, like, I'm like, there was no reason for taking them and then just splitting up the family. You didn't want them. I mean, you kept one, which, it's so gross. Was it a good one?
Yeah. I think it was 2 episode worthy. 2nd episode worthy.
Oh my God. I mean.
How old was she when she got kidnapped?
5. I know.
Kindergarten.
And then also I wanted to quickly touch on the Humans of New York.
Yeah.
I was dying.
Me too.
Venus.
And did you hear our friend who was like, oh, I thought it was going to be murder. I'm like, this is equally as terrible.
They were disappointed?
Yeah.
I'm just so impressed by this girl.
I know.
If you don't know what we're talking about, go to Humans of New York's Instagram. I mean, it's going to be buried by this point. But Venus, this woman, found out her husband was living a double life and they had 6 kids together and were married for like 20 years. And she was like relying on his income. And he was, it's just.
And she's
he went to prison. And so she got her real estate license and now she's crushing it. Like, put all 6 kids through private school. Like, I mean, just like, I don't know.
She's killing it. And I think it's that like she did like 500 million last year. She lives in Augusta, Georgia.
In sales. Yeah.
And I'm like, get it, girl. Now she's a grandmother and she's a babe. She's rocking it.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, you came out on top. And he said like, you're never going to get your real estate license. This town you have to be from here to get any sort of job, whatever, listing or whatever. And she was like, okay, fuck you. And he got 45 years in prison. And he's sitting there because he's also disgusting. A child rapist.
Oh, that story is just shocking.
Oh, I know. And there's going to be a book about it. I bet there's going to be a movie. I saw Cameron from Southern Charm say, like, at Reese Witherspoon said, get ready for your next role. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I can see it. That's who she looks like. That's who she
does.
Yeah.
No, yeah, 100%.
Uh-huh. So good for you, Venus.
Oh, my God. It is just badass. And her oldest son, John, is...
Were you sobbing? I was sobbing.
Yeah.
Okay, the Humans of New York Instagram does 13 posts on it. You'll see 1 of 13, but it's worth the read. And the last one, I was sobbing.
Such a good baby.
He's a good bear.
And I love that she like got to sit them down and be like,